Oh, what? That meeting? Okay.
Hello DIY friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danie, your friendly neighborhood DIYer, and this is part 2 of my epic modern farmhouse office transformation, and I am just so excited to share this with you. I hope you guys love this as much as I do. Of course, this is part of Homemade Home, a series where I take you through my journey to make over my 150-year-old farmhouse into the home that I love, all while trying to keep some of its tradition alive. Like I said, this is part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1, stop now. I will link it above and it's in the description box. Go watch that first. Appreciate the full transformation. As a recap for our returning friends, in part 1, I revealed the before state of this office, suited up and ripped down the ceiling to expose those beautiful joists and farmhouse beams, and of course completed a beautiful Billy bookcase IKEA hack, complete with cathedral-inspired fronts that I'm very proud of, may I add. But it is officially part 2 where we get to see this entire space come together, and I gotta say, I am both internally and externally excited for this reveal. But before we jump in, I would like to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Milanote. You all know I love Milanote, how much I use it, and how it has creatively changed and organized my life for the better. My little DIY team has started growing, and Milanote has helped me expand how I communicate and organize the workflow for everyone involved, either on the pre-production, production, or post side. Yes, with Dan too. It is an easy-to-use web app that's made for creative people like you and me. It is a tool that helps organize your creative thoughts and ideas into visual, easy-to-understand ways. For me, I love their freeform canvas for brainstorming, creative ideas, visualizing and sharing DIY concepts. I build design plans, mood boards, project outlines, brand campaigns. I can bring my entire board on the go, access materials, access my shopping list. I can share those ideas on the go. The list is endless, and I'm just not even sure how I can properly convey how much I love this app.
I love using Milanote!
Okay, that was a bit dramatic, but you understand what I mean. What's even better, I started using Milanote as a way to work with my team to organize each video concept and assign tasks and due dates to ensure all the deliverables and materials are met. Some projects are much larger in scale than others, so they take a lot more planning and coordinating. We can share notes with each other and communicate ideas if something isn't working, so it becomes a much better way for this little DIY in progress family to communicate than I ever thought possible. This app is completely free, so check it out. Use the link in my description box and see if Milanote can change your creative lifestyle too. And of course, if you are not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join this creative beast community. But with that said, let's jump into this crazy office transformation. Editor, roll that tape. Boop.
I was born in the dark.
Alright, so let's talk about the design plan because I have been waiting such a long time to share this with you guys. This room is by far going to be the most striking room in my home, hands down. Hands down. My hands went down. But let me show you why. So let's just move on over to the design board. Check this out. This little office space is going to be complete with this absolutely stunning retro-inspired magnolia chinoiserie wallpaper that will act as the main accent wall in the room. I found this wallpaper on Etsy from a store called Wall Decor. They were amazing to work with and custom fit the design to my wall. They have tons of different designs, large murals, contemporary prints, tapestries, so I will link them in the description box if you want to check them out. It was amazing. Second to that, I'm adding these dark brown elements through this beautiful warm leather chair that will sit in the corner and through my desk. For lighting, I'm going to hang this stunning rattan weave ceiling light from the exposed joists and add this secondary wall-mounted light to the wall above the lounge chair. Under the feet, I am outfitting my floors with this stunning sage area rug. This is going to draw in all that beautiful greens from from the wallpaper and surrounding sage on the window frames and trim. Chair-wise, I'm adding in this low-key black leather office chair with gold accents, and then adding in this simplistic tuck-away matte black chair when secondary people are using the office. This room is going to shine. Can you see it yet, friends? Can you see it? Well then, let's do it. Good morning, DIY friends. It is day one. The first thing that we're going to be tackling in this space is that accent wall, that glorious accent wall that I have been talking to you about. I'm so excited. To wallpaper properly, I feel like it takes a very certain type of person to do it. And then I looked to Jess and she looked at me and she said, "We are the worst people to be doing this." So I have known someone who has been wallpapering their entire life, so I knew that was the person to call, and that person is my mom. I just couldn't keep her away from the gardens.
Everything looks so good. I'm so proud of you. You've done a good job.
That's all I needed. However, if you haven't seen that episode, I will link it up above, or you can find it in my description box below. Once I was able to pull my mom away from the garden check-in, we finally got going on the wallpaper, a delicate operation.
Not too hard, okay? Because you don't want to lose all the glue.
Don't worry, I'm going very carefully. This entire process was so stressful for me. I mean, I just kept thinking, don't screw this up, Danie. You got one shot. Don't screw this up, Danie. Smooth with the wallpaper, calm with the wallpaper. Calm motions, you know?
Just be careful.
Oh, wow.
Ouch.
Gentle, Danie.
Gentle.
All in all though, we got her done, and Mom and I make a great DIY team, if I do say so myself. Edges are perfect, just the way I like it. Dynamite! Now that the wallpaper was complete, it was about the finishing touches in this room, which meant it was time to add that trimmity trim. You know that old song. You gotta put trimmity trim on the wall so your walls don't look like bad. Yeah, hi.
Hey kid, I'm a big-time record producer and I want to sign you.
Anywho, much like my living room, the trim I used at the top was created using 1x4 pine lumber, and I'm just painting them with the same wall color, A Bit of Sugar by Bear. But like, come on, how beautiful was that sage green with the mural? I planned it that way. It's all coming together. So once the boards were dry, it was time to add that top trim. God, I hate cutting trim. Am I alone on that? Like, it's just the worst. And sometimes you cut it the wrong way and then you're like, oh, I just wasted all of this trim, and then you gotta take a whole new piece or make it fit nicely. It's the worst. No one loves cutting trim. If you exist, let me know in the comment section below, because I don't think it exists. When you're cutting trim, you just have to cut all the ends at 45-degree angles so they line up, and make sure you don't screw it up or get it backward. But I will say this, it is certainly more fun with friends. Jess was so excited because I let her use the brad nailer.
Oh, baby! Woohoo! Trusty assistant. Yay!
It always makes me happy to see more women feeling excited and empowered to use power tools. Yes, Jess. I would say you probably need to put in half of what she put in, but boy, is that trim not coming down, I tell ya. So it was all going fine and dandy. Trim went up, the baseboards went up, but then as soon as we stepped back, something was off. Would it look weird with a green trim on the ceiling? I don't know. So the issue was the white trim around the top of the room. It just wasn't working. Something about it felt off against the wallpaper. We kept trying to contemplate what we were gonna do. It sucks because I wish I didn't have to put trim there to hide that edge, but I needed it. So we just came up with a plan.
That's the wall you see, you're gonna see the most. And
I know.
Your visual has to be bang on.
I know. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be green. Okay, paint in, trim green. Back outside. Sage green trim for the win. Sometimes not all the answers will be as obvious. You just gotta throw some pasta on the wall and see if it sticks. Maybe it's like throw some paint at the wall and see which color sticks. I do that a lot, don't I? Whoops. But with that, it meant the rest of the trim that I took time to paint white that morning also needed to be repainted, so we did that too. While that was drying, I moved on to my desk glow up. This was the Girton tabletop from IKEA in the color Beach. I have used this desktop forever and I just love it, but with the new style of the office, the color just wasn't right anymore. So I sanded it down and used the gel stain in the color Dark Walnut to give it a rich, warm new look. I ended up doing 2 coats of this just to darken it up a little, and the new color was perfect. So if you have seen part 1, then you know that I designed those bookshelves with the little tabletop integrated into it. Now, after using this office space in between these videos, Jess and I kind of realized that we both fit at that desk with lots of space. So we decided it was a lot nicer to move that into the bookshelf, get rid of that additional desktop, and then we'll look at solutions down the line. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you change it. So I removed the L brackets I had originally installed, fixed the holes, and voila. We did get that final trim board up though, and the room was looking great. So happy with it. Even just being with this wallpaper behind me, it just brings me so much joy. This whole thing, it just brings so much joy. I'm so excited. Today was such a good day. My mom and Jess and I, we hustled. I mean, we got so much done. We got the wallpaper up, we got the green trim. We ended up adding the upper trim up there, painting it green. We got the table stained. I'm gonna put a finish on it tonight. I'm just excited. So with that said, I am going to go sit down. Well, I'm gonna go water my gardens. Because my mom is here and God knows.
You know, when you're coming, you can just grab a glass of water.
Oh yeah, just easy. Just remember. And then I'm gonna sit down and then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, friends. Good morning, friends. I came into this room this morning and just had a moment. Sheer joy. But today is the exciting day. You'll do over the moon excited for this day because today we bring it all together. To start this day, I wanted to get my rug down, so I first laid this non-skid laminated rug pad. This is made from 100% recycled synthetic fibers. I have learned to always get a rug pad when you first buy a rug. It's going to first and foremost keep your rug in place, but also it extends the life and condition of your rug, and they protect your floor. As for the actual rug, this 5x8 beauty is called the Sage Faded Imperial Medallion Area Rug. Now, I got this rug from Rugs USA along with the pad, and I just think it looks beautiful. What I love about this rug is just how beautifully antique and kind of faded and worn out it looks, and of course because it's sage, so you know, I had a theme going on here if you haven't guessed.
It just...
I love it!
By the way, I'm just gonna say all the items that you see go into this space, they are going to be linked in my description box below, so you can check them out after if you like anything that you see. We can shop the show together. Moving on to the ceiling lamp, this beautiful piece of art was called the Suru Pendant Lamp in small from Article. Now this was graciously gifted to me along with a few other items you're going to see in this space, so just a big thank you to Article for helping to make my space look beautiful and modern as always. Now this Suru pendant though, it's got this beautiful rattan weave on a metal frame, and I just love the curvy shape. Kind of reminds me of a beautiful curvy woman, you know? I love that about this lamp. Ugh. Next up, I was finally opening up the furniture piece where I would most likely spend most of my time.
Pop up, look! Pull it! Pull it! Come on, you got it! Pull it!
This was the Berard Bella tan chair, friends. This chair is absolute perfection. It comes in two colors, the tan like this one and a caramel color, much like my couch. But when I saw it, I just fell in love. It has these beautiful clean lines, slender arms. It's got wood tapered legs, a deep set seat so you can just really cozy in and work. And that leather is just buttery smooth. I am just such a fan.
Ready? I wanted to be able to curl up in this laptop, look out the window, and just like think creatively. I'm in heaven. But there is one thing that's going to make this look way better, even if it's possible. Let me go get it.
Let me introduce the beautiful Luca pillow in the color Yarrow Gold. It is simply divine.
I agree with you, Danie. It is simply divine.
This pillow is made from plush velvet with a nice piped edge detail. It is down-filled and it is just so stylish looking.
Boo Boo, you like the rug?
Next up, I finally got that desk in place. The new color and satin finish on top made this look brand spanking new. Of course, every desk needs a good chair, so I found this chair on sale off of Wayfair. It's called the low back faux leather office chair with iron frame. Clearly not a very sexy name, but the chair is wonderful. I loved it. It had lumbar support, a comfortable cushion seat, but my fave feature was this bar at the back. I like this because you can hang blankets from it. Sometimes it's just about the small things. Now, there are going to be two people working in this space from time to time. So like in my mood board, I opted to bring in a second chair that was a little bit more low key. So I'm adding in this Svelty pure black dining chair from Article. Now this chair is actually made for dining spaces, but of course it can work in any space, but it was just so comfortable. When it wasn't being used, I could tuck it in on the wall beside the magical star cabinet, but for a chair, it is very sexy. It has this mid-century looking vibe with a nice modern twist. It's got thin metal tapered legs. It's just very cool. Now, I will say this, I am a person who loves to kick their feet up when I'm working. Having something to orchestrate this comfortable creative notion was very important to me. This beautiful article decor specimen was called the Texa Poof in the color Vanilla Ivory. It is made with hand-woven wool, tightly looped, and it's just so great as additional seating or in front of the chair or under the desk. It's a really multifaceted piece for this space. Now, as a final lighting element, I wanted something that would sit above the chair for reading or when I'm working, and when I saw this article piece called the Leap Black Sconce Lamp, I knew this was it. First and foremost, I loved how the shape of the lamp, it just complemented and almost felt like an extension of the birds on the mural. Now, second to that, I am a girl who loves a good copper detail in my home, and this lamp had these lovely copper finishes that made me sing on the inside with joy. Moving on to the window space, I wanted the space to feel breezy and light, so I added this dainty brass cafe curtain rod along with these simple, slightly textured sheer curtains. I always find a soft sheer curtain is always the way to soften any space. It's a trick that never fails, and it's an easy fix to any space. All right, so let's talk about some art, because you know I obviously wanted to display some art on my shelves. So I picked up a few pieces that I love from an art store called Desenio, which I've used before. The first art piece was one we've already seen before. This was the Fleur Jolie art piece that I originally featured in my hallway, but my rockin' new art piece took that spot, so I felt this was a great spot to display this. I also got this piece called Fleur des Prés, so beautiful with a bouquet of pink flowers. I loved it. I also got this print of Monet called A Bridge Over a Pond of Water Lilies, and a smaller, more minimal one called Eucalyptus Plant in Black. While Desenio has some really great deals on right now, if you want to wait till June 22nd, I actually have a special code in my description box that you can use to get 10% off on top of the 25% off on their prints. So if you're looking for some art, hang tight because I can get you some deals. Okay, great. All right, so let's move on to that bookshelf. So before I could get the art on the shelves, before I could get any decor, I needed to collect all of my books, and they lived in a place that nobody wanted to go to.
Come into the basement.
There are a lot of goodies to find down there if you can get past the cobwebs and the general murder-esque vibes of it all. Listen, I am convinced that there is a creepy creature that lives down there that is inevitably going to eat me one day. It's a real fear.
Why don't you come down to the basement?
That was the winner.
I was born in the dark.
What is that? Oh, that's a spider. Remember we were gonna do this, Jess.
We still have a unicorn puzzle you promised we would put together.
Yeah, we will. I think we can go upstairs now. I'm creeped out. We're gonna need to do a bug check on everything.
Oh, God.
Ari is gonna have to be on his own. Okay.
I moved things around many times, but eventually you just kind of start to see a balance between the decor, the books, and the art. But you know, you can only do so much in such a short amount of time, and then you're just like, I'm exhausted. Let's move on. Well, my friends, I think this space is finally fini. It was such a journey, but every minute spent in that space was so worth it because the transformation from before and after is just drastic. With that said, let's just remind ourselves how this room began. We had closed ceilings, general clutter, and absolutely no flow. Well, my friends, I present to you my brand new office space. I set out to create a space that made me feel comfortable and inspired to work every day, and this office exceeded every expectation I could have hoped for. It's unique, it's filled with personality and whimsy, it's cozy and filled with DIY love that I imagined and made come to life, and that is just so dope. Thank you so much for watching this Homemade Home episode. Let me know what you think of this transformation in the comment section below. Again, a big thanks to Milanote for sponsoring this video. The project board I created through this app will be available in the description box below. Try it, get yourself creatively organized. All the items featured in this design will also be linked in the mood board and in the description box, so check it out. As always, friends, stay creative, stay positive, and keep on DIYing. Bye-bye.